Hi, this is Chris Kenton from Social Rep, and today we're talking with Rada Ivanov from LinkedIn, who's going to help us understand how to optimize your LinkedIn sales profile. Hi, Rada.
Hello, HP Social Sellers. Thank you for having me, and thank you, Chris, for inviting me to this session.
It's good to have you.
Thanks. I can just go ahead and kick it off.
Yeah, let's start
Perfect. I'd love to take some time today to give you guys some easy tips on how you can transform your professional social profile into a trustworthy resource for your customers. And let me know if the slides are turning, Chris.
Yes, they are. Perfect.
Perfect. So to start, I'd like for you to think about your own presence on social media and specifically your LinkedIn profile. For one, why optimize your profile? Well, not only is it your professional brand, but it's also the professional background check of today. If you think about it, imagine you're one of your customers and you were looking for a new rep at HP and you came across these 4 profiles. Which profile would you first engage with? I think the answer is all pretty clear for all of us. Our eyeballs are drawn down to Erica. Now, let's take a deeper dive into what this all really means. And this is what we're going to do through the remainder of the deck. To start, I wanted to show you an example of one of the strong social sellers here at HP, your colleague, Darren Teedsworth. For one, he has a strong profile picture, so you can put a face to the name. He has a great, compelling headline, which showcases what he's done and how he's helped his customers. He has a strong profile and a summary, which includes some rich media. Now, I know that's a lot taken all from one side, so that's where we're going to start with a couple of easy tips for you guys to get to this level. Starting with number 1. Sorry, go ahead, Chris.
I was just going to point out those links at the bottom to HP content. I know that that's going to come up later, so I just wanted to call that out, that he's showing links to some good HP content at the bottom of his profile.
Excellent. So for starters, tip number 1, professional profile picture. So as we saw from the first slide, profiles with photos are on average 11 times more likely to be viewed than those without. But the type of photo you have is also important because, again, it's your professional brand identity. So you can make your own assumptions and offer your own critique about which one of these is proper or not, but we like to recommend the bottom row. It's a clear shot of your face with a neutral background that the customer or prospect can put a face to the name and add a humanizing aspect to the conversations that you'll potentially have in the future. Step number 2, write a compelling headline. This summarizes what you're really all about. And you can get really creative with it. So for example, I've deemed myself a social selling advocate at LinkedIn. But what's your story? What are you passionate about? Take that, write it down, and my advice is cut it down because the shorter, the better. Keep it concise. We have some examples here, but I encourage you to look at strong profiles like Darren's to get a sense of some examples that might be specific to HP. Number 3, customize your public profile link. So what this is it's an easy way for customers and prospects to access your LinkedIn profile to get a sense of what your expertise is. Now, a lot of LinkedIn members choose to use their first name, their last name, or their first initial last name. And Chris and I chatted about this before. If yours isn't available, perhaps get creative and add your current title in addition to your name. And the reason this is helpful is that you can take this customized link and easily pop it into your email signature or your business card. So once again, your prospects and customers have an easy way to get a sense of what your background is and what you're currently involved with. Next, make sure that you add current contact information to your profile. There are countless times when I see my friends and colleagues who have only added, for example, their personal email address. Add your work email address as well, and you can actually set your preferences as to what is showed publicly or what is showed just to your first degree connections, those people who have actually accepted your connection request. This is really helpful for customers who may want to reach out to you beyond just LinkedIn email. Let's say they wanted to email you an RFP, let's hope. But this would be a great way for them to find out how to get in contact with you. Next step, add some customized links. So let's say you are a heavy blogger. If you're not publishing on LinkedIn already, I encourage you to do that. Share your thoughts on our platform. Or maybe you have a case study that you'd like to direct your prospects and customers to. Or maybe even it's an newsletter that they can sign up. Make sure that those links are included in your profile so that they can learn about what you're here to help them with. All right, now that they know who you are, you've taught them a little bit about your products and services, they know how to engage with you, let's tell them a little bit more about what you are actually passionate about and what your expertise lies in. So the summary is really the spot in your profile where you can showcase your story. Tell them about how you've gotten to the role that you are in now and what has really led to your success within that position or even in your prior position. An important piece here is to add a call to action in the bottom. This example asks the viewer of the profile to perhaps engage with them over email, but maybe your call to action is for them to access your blog. Maybe that's how you want to share information with them. Just a personal preference, I like to see these summaries, especially for people who can't afford PR team to write bios about them, to be in the first person, but that is definitely a personal preference. Next, let's talk about the current and past positions that led to that summary, great summary of yours. So this is really a place where you can showcase specifics about the experience that you've had. So you have the opportunity to share some successes from your past roles and even add rich media. Maybe this is where you include some decks that you've created for your customers in the past, or as Chris mentioned, maybe this is where you add some of the product specific slides that you work on in your current role. Great way to have your customer engage with your profile. Which leads us to the rich media. This, like I said, there are a few different formats that you can include. It could be a YouTube video, it could be PowerPoint decks, or it could be something from your marketing org that has put together some, I'm sure, great collateral for you guys to share. And you have a couple of places that you can add this in your profile. It could be in conjunction to your summary, or again, it could be to the specific roles that in your current role that you've had.
You said something.
Almost there.
Yeah, you said something earlier that I thought was really important here that I wanted to call out. One is you call out here the importance of using keywords on the previous slide. That gets people to your profile. And then the rich media increases the amount of time that people spend on your profile. And I thought that was a really good point. So I just wanted to bring that up again.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. The keywords are a very important way for not just your prospects and customers to find you, but also to have your profile available for future career opportunities. So the more that you can share in your profile about specific projects that you've worked on or specific product or sales model. So for example, if you wanted to add SaaS or specific terms that are relevant to your role, that's going to help your profile come up higher in the search results when people are looking for someone who fits that description. As far as the rich media goes, if you have an engaging profile, there's more reason for your customers and prospects to spend more time on your profile. So thanks for that added note, Chris. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
And then back to tip 9. Like I said, we're almost there. So this is adding your education. And I recommend that you not only add your university, but if you did a stint abroad, add that school. If you have a graduate degree, add that school as well. I would even say add your high school. And the reason why is that you get to tap into those networks. So with LinkedIn Free, you get to connect to your colleagues, your prospects, and your customers. And we call that your first degree network. You also have visibility into their networks, and we call that your second degree network. But anyone beyond that is hidden from any searches that you do within LinkedIn. So the more access you have into, for example, an alumni network from a school, this will give you access to those networks. So if you have all your schools, you can tap into the network. But of course, keep it relevant. Make sure you're not adding schools that you didn't actually go to. Another insider tip and trick is that join groups, because when you join relevant groups, you have access to those networks as well. So my 2 recommendations, add your schools and join some relevant groups.
Good.
And then lastly, ask for recommendations. So Chris and I talked a little bit about this. If you get an email from a customer that says, hey, Chris, I was really happy with the way our deal turned out. You've done an excellent job. Use that opportunity to ask them to share that on LinkedIn, because this is really where your future customers are going to get a sense of what it's like to work with you directly from another customer. So, and you know what? It's not just customers. If you were really successful at an internal project, ask one of your senior leaders to write a recommendation for you as well. I think that goes a long way when people are looking for the right candidate to work with. All right, so I think we're almost done, but no, we're not. One bonus tip, and this is my favorite one out of all of them, and it's always be personalized. As people stop answering the call, as people stop listening to voicemails, this is really our way to stand out from the rest of the herd that's reaching out to our prospects and potential customers. Take some time, look at their LinkedIn profile. I know we're all really quick to find the right prospect and then hit connect immediately because we're so excited that we might actually get a conversation started with them. But you know what? Let's be more thoughtful about it. My recommendation is take a look at what they've written in their profile, or even do a search on any press releases that might have come up for their company and reference that in your connection notes. That gives them a real reason to engage and connect with you versus something that just said, I'd like to add you to my personal or my professional network on LinkedIn. So that is my bonus tip. And as far as next steps go, I encourage you all to download this deck and read through the tips one more time, and then take the next week or so to apply them to your own profile and see how you can potentially improve it so that your customers could learn more from you and hopefully work with you as well.
This really sums it up very nicely, Radha. Thank you very much for putting this together and for helping us take the next step.
Thanks, Chris. Happy social selling.
Thank you. Bye-bye.